What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Logan McSilent here. Welcome back to another video on the channel. Today I'm here with Fredo. Say hi, Fredo.
Hello.
And I'm here with Jack. Say hi, Jack.
What's up, beautiful world?
Today we're going to be talking about our team that we built based off of another team, but we'll get to all that. But if you guys want to introduce yourselves, tell them a little bit about what you do and whatever. Feel free. I'll let Fredo start.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna go by Fredo VGC, but my YouTube is regular gamer because I do other games besides this. Um, and yeah, I play Pokemon.
All right, and Jack.
Yeah. What's up, everybody? I'm Jack Jackson, whatever you want to call it. I'm Draco Jack on Twitter. I don't know. I've been playing Pokemon for actually since the most recent anniversary of our Gold Soul Silver, so 14 years. Not the VGC.
Damn.
I just started this past season, but you know, you're a casual Pokemon enjoyer. Yeah.
So we're all fairly new. We all are a part of a Discord server called VGC Kingdom, which we were trying. Actually, I don't know why I don't have that pulled up. I'll throw it up here. But yeah, we're all part of a group called VGC Kingdom. We kind of run it's like a Discord group and a Twitter page and all this random different stuff. So here it is pulled up here. So make sure to follow this. We also have our Discord link here. We lost our Nitro boost, so sadly we don't have a custom Discord link anymore. Maybe one day we'll get another one.
Right, we might be able to, but VGC Kingdom, woo.
Woo! So this is something that we want to start doing when we go to IRL events and we get to a point where we feel comfortable enough releasing our team. So this is kind of what we have going here. I guess I'm gonna kind of jump around, and I know I said we would start with this, but I want to jump in and talk about like the basis of the team first before we jump into this. Just because I feel like it's just apt to give credit where credit's due. So this is the original team that I ended up taking this original team here and editing it a little bit, and then everybody else jumped in after. I'll show you the first cut, and then we'll jump into everything. So, but this is the first kind of original idea for the team here. This was built by Colding Light. It was a top 16 VR team. This was like one of the first tournaments, I think, of Reg D. Yeah, whenever they put in the Pokemon Home compatibility. So this is like, obviously you can see by the spreads here, nothing is like super optimized. And this is kind of just like a couple Pokemon that work well together. Obviously we have like Lilycole, but with new Lilligant, and then PsySpam, and then you have like a really fast mode. And I thought having like a super fast mode with like a Trick Room option was really cool. So like Booster Flutter here on this team worked really well because I think it outspeeds Scarf Charizard by like 1 speed. So you can actually like outspeed and get off a almost priority Sunny Day basically, because you're hitting like 280 something speed with Flutter. And then obviously you have like Choice Scarf, Terrifier, Heat Wave from Charizard with Solar Power, which just goes crazy. But I tried this team. I used it in a couple online tournaments and did pretty well with it. And I was like, oh, this is really cool. But I don't really like Charizard. I feel like felt like Charizard was the one that was always left out of me, left out for me using like the team in online tours. And then Flutter just felt useless as the 5th mon, because if you were playing Trick Room, then there was no need to have Flutter because it kind of it's just way too fast, especially speed boosting Flutter. And it also can't set up Trick Room, and there's also, if you look, there's 0 protects on this team, so that's something that was kind of extremely annoying. So we ended up coming in I ended up coming in this is not the original team. This is, well, so this is the paste if you want just a paste, but this is the first tournament that I ever used it in, and this was like my original thought process behind the team. And you guys can jump in wherever, so I don't feel like I'm running the show here, but I'm just kind of rambling.
Are you talking about your Lando team now?
Yes.
That you won Spirit Pillar with?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so this is the original team here that I started working with. Obviously, I switched out Flutter for Sneasler, and the important thing is the Psychic Seed addition. That kind of gives Sneasler the Unburden boost, and then it lets you like kind of go ham. Just some minor changes that I made on this iteration of the team with the original is I'm just looking through everything because I don't remember. I think Lilligant was originally Terra Fighting, and sorry, my dog's going wild. He's literally sitting right behind me. Lilligant was originally Terra fighting, which didn't make any sense to me because you kind of want to block fake out pressure, or have the ability to at least threaten that you're going to block fake out pressure. So I switched that to Terra Ghost. Let's see what else did I switch. Armor Rouge, I think, was Terra Psychic or something. No, it was Terra Grass. But I switched off Aurasphere. I felt like Aurasphere I never clicked, and just threw Wide Guard on Armor Rouge, and that kind of helped with getting Trick Room off, and then outplaying other PsySpam teams. It was just a really good addition, especially with like Bleak Windstorm Tornadus in the meta right now. And then Sneasler obviously got added over Flutter because the Psychic Seed plus Unburden stuff goes crazy. You get a +1 special attack boost that helps to beat opposing Flutters, and then also helps to tank hits from Chi-Yu. And then the weird move on this version of the Sneasler team is Shadow Claw. I also tested out like U-turn and other stuff, but I realized that there was like a huge struggle into Golden Go stuff, so I threw Shadow Claw on there just to kind of give me some coverage into it, because if it was like threatening to, like if I had Ndidi Sneasler as my lead, it basically I couldn't touch Golden Go, so I threw Shadow Claw on there. And then Lando T was just some sort of stopgap into the meta at the time. Just gives me an Intimidator and then like a pivot and stuff. So obviously I
That's
used
interesting, because I didn't, your reasoning for Shadow Claw, we had never talked about this. I mean, like, we talked about this version of the team, but we never talked about the moveset on Zaddy here. Well, I didn't know you had started off with Shadow Claw, and then also Terra Grass. I wanted to ask you why Terra Grass, because we didn't talk about that either.
I think that was just an Amoongus thing, because I was tired of getting like Rage Powdered in with Dire Claw, and then getting what's it called, taken, I was gonna say taken from the back, but getting like redirected by Rage Powder and then taking Rocky Helmet damage and all this kind of stuff. When you could kill like a I don't know, like a Frail Flutter or something. But yeah, that's kind of that. I use this formulation of the team to win Spear Pillar 16. And this is just kind of the breakdown. Obviously smaller tournament. I think there's only like 17 players, but went 5-1. Really fun tournament though for me. And then do you guys have anything else you want to talk about with this version of the team, or I can hand it off to...
Y'all see me down here? Y'all see me down here? I'm number 15. I went 0-3 drop because I was doing so bad. Oh, hold on, really quick. This is number 15. This was when me and Drac thought that we were cooking with Talonflame with Tailwind.
Oh, Tailwind Talonflame when you have Tornadus?
Well, because it outsped and it was priority for over Torn, so then we could do something. But besides the point, no, I think your matchups here. I wanted to talk about your matchups because second place right here had the Galarian Moltres. So leading into like the NDD armor is just really tough if they lead that Galarian Moltres. So how'd you work around that?
I don't really remember. I'm looking at their team right now. It's also Terra Dark Tornadus, which gives the team a lot of issues. So basically, this team has like multiple issues. Like Dark types are not fun for it. Steel types are not fun, especially Steel types like Heatran that are immune to fire. And they also have Ice Spinner Qianpao. I think against this person, I think I just led Ndidi Sneasler, and the cool thing about Sneasler is like, what does it hit? 172? I think it hits 172 with Tim, or is it
Adamant.
with Adamant? Yeah. So you don't even need Jolly to outspeed a lot of stuff in the meta like base, and then when you set up Psychic, like when you get the Psychic Seed boost off and get your Unburden boost, you're literally 344 speed without Tailwind. So you basically outspeed most mons under Tailwind anyway, like other than like Flutter and like the really really fast mons. So you can just start chunking things. And then the cool thing, like my favorite thing about Sneasler is in a lot of like unfavorable situations for you, like you can just click Dire Claw and put something to sleep for like 3 or 4 turns and then just win the game because they can't do anything. So if
the RNG is on your side.
Yes, exactly. So it's just nice to have that option. But yeah, I think in this match, Sneasler just went crazy, and I think I paralyzed him multiple times. So whatever.
I like this top 4 because there's another variation of the team at number 4 with Dimk, who went 3-2 with the Ursaluna. No Sneasler, but then Zapdos. So that's a really interesting, like, I guess, addition to this version of the team.
Yeah. Yeah, and
but still,
the
our version came out
Ursaluna,
on top.
yeah, Ursaluna is also like showcased here, which will go to, I believe you're next, Fredo. I think
I
yours is up next.
am.
So I'll Jack, do you have anything else to say about this team, or you want to jump into Fredo's?
No, I just want to say it's pretty cool. I don't. I'm gonna be honest. It was so long ago. I forgot Lando was on this team in the Shadow Claw.
That's what I'm saying. I
Uh,
was like, what?
no, I think it's cool though because it kind of helps with all the like physical because the Psychic Seed is very nice for Caesar. It is very nice in the special defense, but it's still like I think it's like no investment is at like 80 special or 80 defense, so it's incredibly frail.
Yes.
So I think the Lando is a great addition to making it a little sturdier, you know.
It helps. It helps for sure.
Yeah, no, I just think yeah, it's just something people weren't exactly expecting, and I think is it's a really good just like solid core to mess around with. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think we can jump into the Fredo VGC edition.
All right.
Thanks. This is my version. I named it Pitts, because this is when I took to Pittsburgh. And I guess the kind of only changes, and which I guess you can kind of see my spreads here of what I did. I kind of calculated for optimization on some things to like what we would live, what needed, what I knew that if something was out in the field, what would like what Armarouge could tank, what Kuma could tank down here, Ursaluna. And actually, this version is actually wrong because this is not Terra Water. I actually changed it to Terra Fairy at the last minute,
Your
which I'll talk
Ursa?
about in a second. Yeah, I did.
Okay.
And then here, Indeedee is also Terra Fairy. And then we didn't talk about the change, which I guess we can talk about also too. That Sneasler ended up being Terra Flying, and we added acrobatics to that.
Yeah, I think that was one of the big changes.
And that I think that was one of the best changes that you guys made to the team. You were able to find out. So basically, when I stopped making major adjustments after this iteration and just let Jack and Fredo run everything. So they made like the big changes, like switching Indeedee to Terra Fairy, which I think was a wonderful move, and then also switching Sneasler to Terra Flying. Obviously, with the Unburden boost after Psychic Seed, you have like a base 110 acrobatics, and if you Terra Flying your Sneasler, you're like OHKOing most flutters. You're OHKOing Chi-Yu, which is like half of our big threats. So yeah, I just want to jump in and throw that out there.
No, yeah, for sure. This was like the more towards like the final optimization until we get to Jack and what he did. A lot of our bonds ended up being the same, but we ended up putting Wide Guard on Armarouge just to protect from like the bleak winds that happen from Torrents, because mostly everybody's Torn was only running bleak wind. And then you have your land verses who were earthquaking or hitting rock slide. So there was that spread moves from Flutter, spread moves from Chi-Yu. So we just had Wide Guard as a cool tech instead of Protect on Armarouge. Because for me, the way I ran my team is I really leaned into the hard trick room. It took me really late into our testing to really use Hisui and Lilligant with Torkoal and Indeedee Sneasler. Just because I loved using Trick Room. My core 4 was just Indeedee, Armarouge, Torkoal, Ursaluna. Because no matter what happened to Indeedee and Armarouge, I could just have Torkoal and Ursaluna come in the back and Trick Room sweep, right? Another thing on this, we talked about Terra Fairy just because we saw some rise in Dark Urshifu. And so Terra Fairy just let us live while also letting it take damage, with the Follow Me. We optimized to be able to live Surging Strikes and stuff like that. And in some instances, some Terra Fairy Moonblasts, which were some rolls. It was pretty crazy. What about Armarouge? Because this is a lot more. It's like yours, Jack too. It's just you have a different mon than I do. So if I forget anything, Mega Man, we optimized for some earthquakes. That you would be surprised that they lived. And some rock slides and stuff like that. So really, my hard trick room was either following me trick rooming with Armarouge or wide guarding and trick rooming with Indeedee, because I knew that we were going to live, whatever was on the other side that was really meta at the time. And then of course Torkoal with Eruption, Heat Wave, Solar Beam, Earth Power. Except we ended up changing ended up changing Solar Beam to Clear Smog in the final rounds of testing. And then with Barbie over here, Hisui and Lilligan, I ended up changing Solar Blade to a Leaf Blade, only because if we ended up out of Sun against an opponent, then we could just use Leaf Blade and we wouldn't have to charge up Solar Blade. And Leaf Blade had a crit chance, and so you're kind of banking on that, but it just seemed a little bit more optimized for the team.
I do think we like that leaf blade change was the day before we left for Pittsburgh, so it was very last minute. It was
Did we really?
extremely, but I want to say it was so worth it. Like
It
I
was.
think that was an insane last minute change. And it's probably one of the best ones we could have done, honestly.
Did you change that on your Jack, or did you?
So I gotta make a new paste. We'll probably drop it at the end of the video when we edit everything.
Okay.
Logan's fucking wizard. I mean, Mr. Wizard over here. So he's got the magical edit powers.
I do.
But yeah, I'll make a little paste, but we'll just use it for reference for now.
Okay, but did you, like, when you brought your team to Pittsburgh, did you make the same Leaf Blade switch and Clear Smog switch, or did you do one or the other, or neither?
So I mean, I guess we're
We don't have to like jump to you. I'm just like just for my mind while we're here.
Because I was a little uncomfy with it, and I didn't care about Dozo
Okay.
because it'll make sense when we explain it later. But the Leaf Blade, yes, I think it's just more optimal. Plus, the crit chance makes you stronger than a normal Solar Blade, unless that crits, obviously. But like, high crit chance is very nice. It almost saved me from a game on the MSS on Sunday. My rolls just didn't work out for me, so I just, yeah.
Oh, I remember that game. That game was crazy.
The game we play. But it wasn't like the Leaf Blade fault. It was a close combat or whatever. But regardless, I think the Leaf Blade move was insane. I think it was, well, maybe not as insane as I'm making it up to be, but I think it was a really good switch.
Yeah. And then on here, I changed to Terra Fairy because this was also a last minute change. I want to say like maybe the day before Pittsburgh or 2 days before, because I was really only Terra Water for like Water Urshifu to live it, and then like Chen Pao, Ice Bowl Crash or Ice Spinners, it wasn't doing that much damage to me. But then as I thought about it, I'm like, what am I going to be going against? Like Chen Pao, Sucker Punch, Dark Urshifus were on the rise. So I was like, I live a Wicked Blow. Terra Fairy would end up being neutral, and I knew my matchups against that. So whether I was Terra'd or not, I knew what I was going to live. And it just overall, and then same with even Urshifu, when I Terra'd away from the normal ground typing, going Terra Fairy, the damage between being Terra Water or Terra Fairy was very small percentile. So instead of optimizing for one Pokemon, I optimized for like a whole set of Pokemon. So I think the Terra Fairy was the way to go. Just in my personal opinion, because if I went Terra Ghost, then the Wicked Blows and the Sucker Punches would have really hurt.
Right.
Yeah, and it's nice into the Ursa Mirror. It's just
the
rise of the Dark type really came last minute.
Yeah,
I
like
think it was a great change.
Yeah, towards the end of the format, which obviously Reg D's not like completely over with yet, but like toward like as Reg D progressed, like I remember at the start of the format we saw like no Chi-Yu, no Ting-Lu, like nothing. Like we saw Heatran and all this stuff, but like I saw so many more dark types. Like Roaring Moon 2 made a big like splash at Worlds. And just seeing like the slowly more dark types start trickling in made this team feel less broken. As time progressed, but it is what it is. Also, one thing I wanted to have you explain, Fredo, is your speed IVs in your Torkoal and your Ursa. If you don't mind.
Oh, well, actually, I actually ended up switching. Okay, well, I'll talk about that. So in Torkoal, because I was trying to find a min speed Torkoal, and I love my teams to be shiny. So my Torkoal was actually only 1 point above min speed. So instead of min speed Torkoal being 22, I was actually 23. Because then if I faced a Trick Room team that ended up getting out of Trick Room, if they had min speed Torkoal, I'd be able to win the matchup with my Torkoal if it ended up getting out of there. Which was really cool because it did actually come in handy. Me and Logan actually faced off against each other, and we got out of Trick Room, and I was a little bit faster than him. And then
that was
in Pits,
this
it
tournament.
also helped against a Torkoal. Oh, are you talking about VGC Kingdom?
Yeah, that was this tournament.
Yeah, yeah,
The one that
yeah.
you won.
With this team, and we can go into that. I won VGC Kingdom, the the one that we host. So
It was
I
rigged.
farmed. Yeah, it was rigged. I farmed our own tournament, and the funny thing is, I wasn't even going to play that day. I was with my brother doing some things, and then we ended up getting finished early. So I was like, oh, I guess I'll hop in, and I was like, oh, for fun, blah 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 blah, and I ended up winning. Um, at first, I started with Ursa Luna being uh not min speed. It was like decent. I think it was hitting 56-ish. And then not in the last minute, kind of like the week before pits, Logan ended up giving me a min speed Ursaluna, so I ended up taking min speed instead. Which, I mean, either one I felt comfortable with, so I wasn't really like too upset making that change going into pits. I just played like trash. I mean, just being honest, I really did. And so that was kind of like the switch there. And then, I mean, going into all these teams that I faced in this tournament, I think the most notable person was VGC Gumi, because this Articuno like snow team,
This
we
team was
actually
sick.
faced in the earlier rounds, and it wrecked me. Like, I just wasn't prepared for it because I hadn't like tested against it or anything like that. And so VGC Gumi, who is also in VGC Kingdom, kind of wrecked me with that. And then another notable person here is Jackson C, which is also goes by the name of Ploppy.
Ploppy the goat.
Yeah, Ploppy. He's the his Clodsire team got featured on, was it Cybertron?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I faced him in the finals. And I just have to shout him out that he got a little salty because I'm a PsySpam user and he hates it. So I hope he watches this video, because yesterday we played in a tour and he beat me, but I was using a Dozo team, so I'm not too upset. But his team was also
we
tough.
make
Like,
mistakes.
we make mistakes, yeah. But his team was tough as well. Going with the Farigraph, having Imprisoned Trick Room, I had to deal with that. And then Chiyu Flutter just also is a really big threat to this team as well.
Yes.
So just having to navigate between those, I mean, he's a really good player. So he really made me think on all my switches and who I was bringing. And I honestly think I think we went to game 3, maybe. I'm not too sure on how that ended up, but I think I used Ndidi Sneasler in the beginning and then tried to switch it up and then went back. Right, we went to game 3.
Yep, game 3.
Yeah. And I just ended up going back to the original game plan in game 1, but. I really played this team more heavily towards the Trick Room, but having that fast option, like Logan said in the beginning, also helped me like navigate the team more later on in later testing with using a DD Sneasler and Hisui and Lilligant and Torkoal. So it really helped me evolve really with those mons. So then we go to the more successful person who did better.
While we do this, let me take a quick pause because I think my dog's about to shit in my house. Give me like 2 minutes.
Oh my gosh!
I'll be right back.
So yeah, with this team, took it to pits and went a crushing 3-5, the worst I've ever done at a regional. Even though that was my 4th regional that I've been to in my entire life, so not too upset. But I was really confident with the team, and then I just went in there and I was completely blanking. It was really bad. I think I let the nerves get to me. But let's move on to the better of us, who actually did really well at Pittsburgh. Draco Jack out here. Pulling up his team right here on Twitter. You can see he has his rental code right here if you want to go ahead and try it out. But Jack, take it away. We have the biggest change of all is this Urshifu here.
So, yeah. Urshifu, Darkshifu, I definitely think was probably the greatest change I can make to this team. I tried Ursaluna. I don't know. Maybe I'm bad at VGC or something. I don't know. But I just wasn't fitting. It was not the move. And the thing about this team, it's like, oh, you set up Trick Room, you sweep, right? With like a little bit of fast mode. Like, yeah, sure. I kind of like to operate it as like a balance almost, but like an HO balance. It's weird. It's so weird, but I love it. With the Darkshifu, I noticed the problem was with Ursaluna, the Intimidates were tough to get through from opposing Landos and Arcanines. And unless you had Armor Rouge to take the Flash Fire for Arcanine, which you don't usually like switch in to take a damage on this team. You just kind of click buttons and then say, haha, GG. Yeah, it's not really like the greatest, the Ursa, for me when I used it. So I was like, I need something that can hit through protect, so I don't have to think as hard. And then something that has a good attack, prankster immune, in case like whatever enough like or like a good like switch in for dark types, because dark types were really good into this team besides like Sneasler. So that's where Urshifu comes in. Urshifu is really good. Unseen Fist, Wicked Blow, really good. It carried me for most of the tournament in the Pokevolt tournament. Just I remember clicking Terra Poison, Wicked Blow a lot, and I remember killing a lot and doing a lot of damage. And even my wins, people would just leave it alone, or like they would follow me, or like they'd get followed me by the NDD, so it wouldn't matter. But like it would just click, it would just be annoying. It would just hit you. There's nothing you could do about it unless you had like Chi, Heat Wave, and Sun, which kills, unfortunately. But like I've learned that the hard way. But it's a good. I made it a little bit more bulky instead of like just like, oh, fast, boom boom, hit you, hit you.
252.
Yeah, I made it a little bit more bulky so it can outspeed, like, because what we were having a problem with was Goldango, Heatran, Rillaboom, Chi-Yu, a lot of those like middling speed tier guys for the most part, besides Chi-Yu. And I was like, well, what can outspeed those? Well, we can underspeed a lot of the faster stuff and get it in Trick Room. And I was like, well, Dark Shifu works. It's got a good physical defense. And Helping Hand Wicked Blow can Oko Heatran, can Oko Arcanine, even, yeah, it can definitely Oko Goldingo, if as long as it's not like the super bulky variant that people were running at the end. I know some of the people I was testing against, they ran like almost 252 bold Goldingo with health, like max HP, and I was like, you're crazy. This is not Torkoal. What are you doing? But that they would tear out of it and they would survive. But regardless, I think that's the only thing that really lived. Like not even relevant.
I want to note on this. This isn't the right team because you switched into Leaf Blade, right?
Yeah. So at the end of the video, we'll put up a new paste for it. And
okay, cool. But also, right here, you kept Solar Beam, where I changed to Clear Smog just because Dozo stuff. Because it was going to be more prominent.
Yeah, Solar Beam was very helpful. I just said screw it. I don't care about Dozo. This is why, because I had Dark Shifu, so I didn't have to worry about it too much. It is also really good because I could soul read people for their Terra Water on their Lando or whatever, and they would die. It's also a great Urshifu counter if you don't have anything to hit it with, because I know the only thing that really hits it well is Expanding Force and close combat, or like any like Sneasler or Lilligant. But if you don't have like if you're in Trick Room and you need a way to hit it, and it's gonna, they could just sack it or whatever, and then get Trick Room over. You just insta kill it faster with Solar Beam.
Yeah.
So I think it was just really good. It was really good into Lando, because you can, even if it doesn't kill the Lando, it's doing like half health to a Terra Water AV. There's that beautiful picture. Look at that. That's the goons. Those are the squad. They're all sleepy. Look at Torkoal.
Are you missing somebody?
I think he's got...
Oh, were you on? What was
There's
it?
no Ndidi.
No. So Ndidi's, you can see its fat butt and behind that Lilligant head.
Oh, I do see it.
Oh yeah, I was back there.
Yeah, she's back there somewhere. That's how I knew. I was like, okay, she's in there. That's what matters. No, she's thick though, and I think she was definitely like one of the main stars of this team. Owen Wright, I'm sorry for whoever you are. But yeah, I kind of cooked you with Ndidi. Terra Fairy, they had tricked Specs Goldango, and they tricked it onto my DD, and then DD got Specs. I set up Trick Room. I Terra Fairyed, so I didn't get killed by Wicked Blow because they had Dark Shifu. And I just decided to start clicking buttons with Taz and Gleam.
That's crazy.
And it picked up 3 kills on its own.
So
Yeah.
before well, we're gonna continue, but like I wanna before I talk about the rest of your tweet here, because there's some cool things in your tweet that I want to point out that I saw during your matches. I was behind him the whole time watching his matches, both in the tournament, but also in the MSS that happened on day two on Sunday. But I want to just say that right here, Draco Jack won before was this the Monday before Pits? This Pokevolt?
Yes, literally the Monday before picks.
So you can kind of see the
It had
team
to have,
that
I think it had to have been, yeah.
yeah. You can see me down here. Look at me. I got 10th. Ha ha. Look at that.
Kill it, kill it.
I'm in it. But no, you can kind of see the teams here. Borgie actually day two'd, right? At Pittsburgh.
Yes, Borgie day
Yeah,
two, and Borgie has
Day
been
two.
like our VGC Kingdom like enemy. Like he always
Oh, yeah.
beats, because we've all been running this PsySpam team on and off for like over a month, and he just kept destroying us. And then I think Jack finally figured it out.
He was a VGC Kingdom farmer, bro. He beat every single one of us.
Well,
But
I got my revenge.
yeah,
No,
you got your
this year-
revenge.
And we can the star. I feel like the star of this team, Sneasler. Like if you look at Borgie's team, like this dude did not bring Goldango. I do not know why, but
Yeah, Goldango would have been a problem.
Goldango would have been. He never brought it. Sneasler picks up every single one. Like we were like I'm always, no matter what, Terra flying acrobatics into Chiyu with Helping Hand, or maybe even without Helping Hand. I don't know. It's kind of like
I
weird.
think
Depends on
with
how you
Helping Hand, I
choose.
think it's a roll too.
Yeah, with Helping Hand or just Terra alone, it might be a roll. But it kills Chiyu as long as it's in Sash. It really messes up a Moongus if it's not Terra. Yeah,
And it does hit Urshifu.
It sweeps his team. It's a good Heatran counter too.
Mhm.
There's a big problem is like we can't really touch Heatran with any of these guys. Maybe Dark Shifu, but as you know, it's not like specially defensive.
Yeah.
So if you like bait out a Terra and you read protects, like Sneasler can be its worst nightmare.
Or even like helping hand close combat. Like if you feel like it's not in a position to like safely Terra, you can just helping hand close combat and Oko Heatran. Or you can predict it and just click acrobatics and one shot it too. You just have to read it right. So
I'm pretty sure like Terra Grass with like a somewhat amount of bulk of Heatran lives on like 25% from a helping hand close combat. And even then you have like a stage of special defense to spare.
Yeah.
If you know you're not gonna get targeted down. Or you could just like follow me and then close combat and then helping hand close combat to finish it off.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, obviously you could do whatever. It's a game, strategy game, but
yeah, true. So this was the Monday before we had left for Pits, and you had won that one. So you can kind of see, you know, the evolution of the team just going through these different tours, and we had been working on this for like a solid month and a half.
Yeah, something like that.
I would say a month and a half, which is why we felt so confident going in. And Jack 6-3'd, unfortunately didn't day two. He faced, well, actually, let's talk about it right now, because you can see his day one right here, his day one opponents. Going up, Owen. He faced Justin Tang. Everybody knows who Justin Tang is. And that was a close match from what Draco Jack had told us. Do you want to elaborate on that a little bit?
so game one was a close match. Game two was not. By any means.
He wrecked you game two?
He ran a train through me.
All right.
No, yeah. He even mentioned it because I wasn't even thinking about it, but I was like, "Oh, good game." He's like, "Yeah, good game," and he meant because what happened was like I had led Lilycole into his Gyarados hands, so he tried to like fake out protect just to like scat out, go a little slow mode, just see what I'm doing. And I switched into Indeedee and went to sleep powder hands, but I missed.
Ooh.
And it was actually very crucial because hands was a lot of chip damage that I could have like killed earlier on, and ended up going to a Trick Room War with him. So it's just back and forth, like just hitting, just like trying to read. And he got a double protect on a Gyarados somewhere at the end. And he said I probably would have won had those two things not have happened. I was like, okay, that's cool. Actually, that makes sense. But that was after our game two when I got crushed because I decided to lead into the Armors. He just read me for filth. So
nice.
that's where that experience comes in. But other than that, like it shows like even experienced players can have a really tough time with this surprise attack of a team that is like a meta backbreaker.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like
And then going up, you lost your next one, so we were like, dang, 2-2, but that's fine because you rallied back. You went all the way
Yeah.
up with 4 wins. You faced Thomas Coolin.
Yeah, he's a old buddy of mine told me he was a legend in the VGC. He's always done good. He placed like top 45 or something in like Knoxville in the 2023 circuit.
Mm-hmm.
So that was good. And he's had like a bunch of other I'm barely like invested in the history of the scene because I don't know anything. But
Yeah.
yeah, I know he's pretty good. So I had to respect him pretty well with my team.
And then let's
Uh,
talk about this. Let's talk about this round 9 and this one I watched all the whole game.
oh God.
Ofemezi, as you can see, he day 2'd and went 12-3. He was on stream. Did
Yeah,
he?
he went
lose to
top
Aaron?
8. Yeah.
He's
Yeah, he
top
went
8.
top 8. Did he lose to Aaron Trailer? Was that who it
He
was?
unfortunately did.
Yes.
He
Yeah,
got
unfortunately.
crushed right there. But
Talk about Ofemezi's team because he ran the Bramble Gas.
he ran Emilio's team, which probably would have won Worlds had someone not accidentally bumped their little booty.
My
on the
bad.
Table. It's okay. We can't control things that are too big for us anyway. But yeah, no, Chiyu Goldango just like 2 really good counters into the team. I let in DD Sneasler or Lily Colt or whatever, and he just I think that's one of my matches where I definitely got destroyed.
Oh no, I
think,
watched you let Liddy call both games and he just wrecked you. Like absolutely.
yeah. No, there was not a lot of contention, and but he's a really good player. I
He's a
think
really good player. It was a really tough matchup.
it was a really tough matchup for me. I think he just has like a really good balanced team, and obviously that experience and just that like being in the scene and know what you're doing for as long as he has really just crushed me, which I was okay with because if anybody, Ofamezi's really cool dude. He's really awesome.
Yeah.
He was really nice after the match too, and
Oh,
we were
he
like,
was. Yeah, he was really nice. Yeah.
oh, he's a really tight dude. So
Mhm.
just like being able to talk to him about it, even though he kicked the shit on my butt, just like it was very nice. But yeah, Goldango Chiyu, he's like, I would lead Chiyu every time, and I ended up killing his Chiyu, I think, or he forcing him to switch. He just, he ended up he was like clicking make it rain on Sneasler, and Sneasler still had the boost. And it was like chipping down slowly and slowly, but I'm like, don't get a crit, don't crit. And then one more turn, I didn't need a crit. I was like,
I remember that. I was like, dang.
crit. I was like, dang. He's like, I'm about to have it eventually. I'm like, I just need one more turn, man. You understand? Because his Goldango is on like 1 HP, and I was like, I'm just gonna leave it because I can't focus because I can just I can pin that spot whenever. I'd rather just push stuff down. And I think I killed one of his moms, like Bramble. No, not Bramble. Yeah, it was someone. But eventually it was like a 2v2 or 3v2, and he got that crit, and I was like,
Jack was the best of us out of this team and went 6-3. And then over here, because I saw Jack doing some crazy stuff. This was the mid-season showdown, and you can see that he went against some other good people. You can see Aaron Zhang here, which you beat.
Woo!
Yeah, Aaron Zane was he's using that
Oh, the Spectrier
yeah, the
Draining Kiss.
Grimmsnarl.
Yeah, he loves that
Yeah.
team, and it's a really really good team. And if anybody knows how to pilot well, I think he does. So
yeah,
even though it's best of 1, for the
oh,
Swiss
that's
round,
right. It was best of
Yeah.
1. Oh, I hated that. Yeah.
yeah, I still feel like that's it's hard, especially when you face Cybertron like that, because
Oh, yeah.
that's his thing, you know. He goes on ladder, he starts wrecking people. He's like, here's a cool team. Want to see me destroy 10 kids' dreams? So to beat him was like, like, oh boy, oh, I did it. I did no, but he's a real cool guy. And then I don't know if you know him or how many you know him by name, but the next guy where I got my first loss, Luke Bauer, he's actually he's Jin Furai.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
He's in Thomas Hayden's chat.
Yes,
Okay.
he is. He went on he's been like #1 on ladder. He was running the Bruxious Ursaluna Trick Room team.
Uh-huh.
With, like
the Conkeldonk team.
I think so, with like the muscle that screws up Amoongus with like taunt, whatever.
Yep.
Blah, blah, blah.
I actually faced Conkeldonk in the MSS too, and he had the same team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it was annoying to face, and it actually came down to a roll at the last. I think, it crit my Ndidi the one time I didn't need it to, and
Mm,
it messed me up. But he's a really cool dude. He's actually like all these people. They're really cool. They're insanely like obviously like they can be popular and all that, but like they're actual people too, and they're really cool. So I think it was just cool again to see that like in person of them and like hear their thoughts and opinions versus like
yeah.
behind the screen.
I want to
So
go back to your team list. I'm looking at it right here. You're on the tweet. There was some cool stuff while I was watching you play that you did. Like, you had some when Ndidi, not Ndidi. Well, yes, when Hisui and Lilligant and Ndidi were on the field, you would hit the after you trick room.
yeah, a little
Um,
nasty after you trick room. People
yeah,
didn't
which
like
is
that.
crazy. Yeah.
I got some like, oh wow, okay. Or like some like, oh shit, or some like scuffs or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I don't know, get better.
That's a cool tech. And then also when you
Like I
had
don't know what to tell you. Like, oops, sorry.
yeah, when
You
you had
know?
Hisui and Lilligant and Armors on the field as well, you'd also hit those after you expanding forces.
Yeah, after you expanding force was a movie too. People were like, wait a minute, I didn't prep for that. I was like, yep, good job. I think I still lost the game because yeah, that was the round 6 of the MSS I still lost. But like I did that and he was like, oh crap. I was like, yep.
Yeah.
That happened.
That's the really cool thing with this team is something that like I pulled up Ploppy's tweet earlier, which I don't think he said it in the tweet, but like basically when you play against this team, one, it's lead roulette because there are like 15 different leads that we can lead against you and feel comfortable. And like one of our favorite leads that we randomly came across later on into playing was like Sneasler Armor Rouge. And then you could just swap in DD into either slot and either get an expanding force or obviously double Sneasler's speed and get a special defense boost like at the same time. And block priority at the same time into either slot, which is crazy. But yeah, I don't know. That was just something that I was going somewhere with that, and then it just slipped my mind. So my bad.
Oh, you're good.
Oh, good. Yeah.
So that's good info.
So yeah, no, that's that was another one. Was the, like you said, the Armor's Sneasler lead, which was kind of crazy. Or like you said before, sometimes you could lead did you say Lilligant Sneasler with having Torkoal and like Ndidi in the back?
Yeah, you can do that, and you can get like you can swap Torkoal in for Sneasler and get like the speed boost on Lilligant if you need to outspeed. Like for example, if you lead into like a Flutter and you need to outspeed, you can do that and just get like a faster sleep powder off. And then obviously you have the same thing with like Sneasler and Ndidi, which is a cool option too.
Yeah, I did that a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
I would be yeah, Ndidi Sneasler, or just like it's a good bait too because like okay they're gonna switch in this turn right and get something so I gotta prep. I'll be like oh what's the best of both worlds and sometimes I just click attacks.
Yep.
They're not expecting it. They'll like rain dance hit the Lilligant with like Aqua Jet or like with their Shifu, like it'll be like Torn or Shifu and they'll like touch the Lilligant with like close combat or something because they know I'm not gonna Ghost Terra.
Mm.
And it doesn't matter because they click Rain Dance and do that or whatever. And then
You
I
start going ham.
Okay, leave Blade Acro or something, or I double in, or I Sleep Powder the Torn, or you know.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's kind of it.
Some things I wanted to touch on if we're all done with that. Is just some things that we've thought. I'll leave this on. I'll leave your paste on the screen or the rental on the screen for now. But like, just some things I wanted to quickly touch on before we end the video here. I don't think we need to do like a gameplay match because this is actually more of like a team report than I thought it would be, which is completely fine. Which is probably what we were all hoping for, rather than like Aaron Zhang video. So, basically, I just wanted to touch on like we've discussed like the 6th slot in this team, which obviously you've seen. There's like multiple iterations with there was Lando, then Ursaluna, and then Urshifu, but some other stuff that we like discussed. I don't know if we ever played it, but I think there's actually like a variant of this team with Hatterene or Hatterini over like in that 6th slot, which I've seen people run. And then like Sneasler's Flutter. So there's that option, which one thing that I was worried about like with team building was having to rely too heavily on Trick Room. I felt like uh, we actually morphed the team into more of a um, either like super fast paced team, or like could go hard Trick Room if we needed to, and then like especially with Lilligant, having like Lilligant or Sneasler in the back, we could like convert out of Trick Room well. Like it wasn't like Trick Room's over, then we just completely lose because we just underspeed everything, which I felt was cool. And then I know Jack a couple times also mentioned Typhlosion on the team, um, which I told him was like basically just Charizard. Um,
Facts.
so we didn't. I don't think we ever ended up playing that.
Sadly,
Yeah,
I love my
sadly.
goat though. Rip in peace, homie. Never
um,
forgotten.
and then some things the team like does well into, like actually I think the team does extremely well into Shohei Kimura's team, which was like the 2023 world champ.
Yes.
So like a lot of that balance stuff, like just Tornadus, Flutter, Lando, Water Bear, Amoonguss, Iron Hands, like any of those mons, and those are like six of the top like I don't know 10 most popular Pokemon in the meta right now. It does really good into those mons. But like we've mentioned multiple times, like the team really struggles into Chi-Yu and Heatran. Um, and then some other things like we did the passers thing, which I think was made by Bauerdad, which is basically like you can conglomerate like up to 50 showdown games and then trend your team based on like lead matchups and terra types and open team sheets and all this valuable information that you don't usually track in your head, like or something like it's hard to track in your head. Um,
I think we made like 5 to 6 different sheets.
yes, yeah. And we realized that we really struggled against Cresselia as well. Cress was a really big one, especially like Cress plus Ursaluna. If you don't get Trick Room off, it's kind of rough. And then like if you can't damage Cresselia enough because you're like relying on expanding force and you can't get a safe switch into Torkoal, they can kind of just either take Trick Room off or underspeed you in Trick Room until you can get Torkoal there, and then they can just protect a live interruption and then like reset Trick Room or like take Trick Room out. That's kind of rough.
Yeah.
Obviously Dozo was a big issue for us, so obviously we made adjustments. Fredo put Clear Smog on Torkoal, and then we added Urshifu to Jack's team, which was incredibly helpful. And then another bad matchup is like Terrain Wars. Rillaboom obviously is like extremely popular in the meta right now, so winning Terrain Wars is rough. You kind of have to play really smart with your Indeedee, and then leverage your Sneasler extremely hard, or just get Trick Room off and just nuke with Torkoal.
That kind of goes into the same thing with weather, because like at that point it was a real heavy switching game of
Yes.
going back and forth and figuring out when you can attack and then when you can bring the certain mon in. Like even with having Pelipper and Torkoal, like you have to know when to switch them in. When they U-turn with Rillaboom, when can you put in DD? Like can you call them coming in first before you come in? Stuff like that.
Yeah. And then like the last bad matchup that I had listed down was like screens, especially because I'm sorry, my dog just brought a squeaky toy in here. I don't understand why he's being feral right now. But screens, playing against screens with this team is kind of rough because most of the popular screen setters are either steel type like Klefki or dark type. So think of Grimmsnarl or Sableye. So it's just kind of a rough matchup. Obviously, we struggle with dark types. Sometimes we don't. But it's just something you have to play around, and usually you can still win that matchup, but it can be difficult. So, is there anything else y'all feel like we need to say about the team, or?
No, I think we covered it pretty well. The whole evolution of it.
Yeah, Jack.
Yeah.
I'd say we're pretty being chilling on this one.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll get the updated paste or rental or whatever Jack's gonna send me, and I'll edit it into the video at some point so everybody can see it. All the links for all this stuff and the rental code and all this stuff. It'll be this rental code will be in the description too, so you can just copy it. And yeah, play with this team on ladder. It's fun. I think Jackson hit, I don't know, close to 1800 or something on Showdown ladder with this team. All three of us hit 1700, I think. I know I hit 1700, which I'm usually like in like the 1400s.
So that it wouldn't pick up traction.
Yeah.
But I made like 6 different accounts just to get it to each one to 1600.
Yeah. So this team obviously has a lot of potential, and there's definitely some minor adjustments that we could have made, like for example, just to make our matchup into things like Heatran and Chi-Yu better. to give us like a better chance of winning. But overall, I think the team was a lot of fun to play, and obviously, it was really fun to play like online tournaments with because I felt like we finished our matches in like 5 minutes, 5-10 minutes, and then we just got to chill. So, yeah,
For sure.
I just want to, I guess I'll thank y'all for hanging out with me tonight, and then thank you everybody for watching.
And also, the VGC Kingdom Discord will be in the description as well. So if you want to come and hang out,
Yes,
come join the server. We're trying to boost our numbers and our community. So come out and hang out with us.
yeah, we run tournaments. We're always talking in the Discord, and yeah, come hang out with us. We also offer very bad VGC takes for free, free of charge.
But they're free. They're free.
They're free of
Glaring,
charge.
they're free. That's the big, yeah, free. Glaring wheezing, Reggie.
Yes. All right. We will see y'all later. We'll try to do more of these team breakdowns if you guys like them. As time progresses and we get better at team building, maybe we'll day 2 with the team we build in the future. Who knows? But yeah, thank y'all for watching.
Thanks.
We'll see y'all. Bye.
Bye, y'all.